Bone Lake's a bit of fun, right? Like, it's a bit of flirty, bloody fun, which is exactly what you want from a movie called Bone Lake. Also, in this movie, there are some bones in a lake. So really, it was marketed perfectly. Well done to Mercedes Bryce Morgan and the team. You've nailed that. This movie is quite interesting. I would call it a psychological thriller. It's like a relationship thriller. It's those movies where two people are sort of having their relationship pieced apart because of the actions of another couple. Sort of like Speak No Evil, except far less disturbing than Speak No Evil. And the mystery was intriguing as fuck in this one. Like, every time I was thinking, like, what is your angle? Or, oh, you little bitch, you know, which is what you want in an emotionally manipulative thriller like this one. I think it's an enjoyable watch for me, even though it strains into sort of incredulity right at the end. I still liked it. So, as always, let's dive in, spoiler free. Welcome to Spooky Nights. Bone Lake follows longtime couple Sage and Diego as they've booked a romantic weekend away at this amazing lakeside mansion. They're using it as a stopover to their new house because Sage has taken a job as a newspaper editor to help support Diego's dream of publishing a novel, as he is currently a community college like English teacher. You can tell these guys have been together a while and the spark has sort of died down in their relationship. You know, they're obviously very in love, but you know, the honeymoon period is well and truly over. As they are trying to like reignite that fire with a no close policy for the weekend, a younger couple basically just walks in the front door, and it turns out that this house has been double booked, barbarian style. So unfortunately too, for Sage and Diego, this couple, they're young, they're hot, they are really into public displays of affection. So everything's, you know, it puts incredible pressure on Sage and Diego. And from there, we get to see the damage that trust issues, past history, and flagrant nudity can have on a bored couple. And it's intriguing. So this movie is a lot of fun. When I was watching this movie, I was trying to update my clues and update my feelings on each character based on their actions. You know, you're constantly updating your register of like, okay, what the fuck is going on here a bit. It definitely gave me like red string corkboard conspiracy feel. Like, if you like doing that in movies like I do, this is one to do that in. There is a ton of red flag, beige flag to be played in this movie. Like, you're like, hang on, are you doing this just because you're fucking clueless and you don't care? Or is this like a weird power play? And if so, why? Why are you doing this power play? There's a lot of that in this movie. The acting is stellar. I love the relationship between Sage and Diego. It's not a particularly novel relationship. Like, we've seen lots of movies where couples have sort of lost their spark, but the way it's played, they felt realistic, right? Maddie, Hasson and Marco Pagosi did a great job at like really selling the relationship. They have these little in-jokes. There's some gentle teasing happening like most long-term couples have. And that just raises the stakes for when shit hits the fan. I also really loved the like young hot couple, Will and Sin. Like, Alex Rowe and Andrea Nachita are really good. They feel like these like new agey swinger types. I feel like Will was like a dude bro biohacker type, and that Sin was a fake nice corporate type. Like, I know both those archetypes. That's the archetypes they were sort of playing, and I got it. I was like, yeah, I know you. Like, I'm supposed to be a little suspicious of you, but I'm actually not sure you're doing anything wrong. Which is as far away from Sage and Diego as you could be, like in terms of personality, and that tension is where it's from. You were like, well, is something sinister going on here, or are they actually just two couples with completely different beliefs and views, and that's where the clashes are coming in? It's really, really good for that. Also, Maddie Hasson looks so much like Florence Pugh. For like fucking 60% of this movie, I was like, is that Florence? I don't remember seeing Florence Pugh on the poster for this one. And to let you know, I have Florence Pugh tattooed on my body. I see Florence Pugh's face all the fucking time. And I was still like, I think that might be her. That's how similar they look. That threw me for a loop. There is a little bit of gore in this movie, and I think when it does come in, it's done rather well. When the action hits, you do see there's a lot of like running and stabbing and screaming, and it's very Scream-esque in its violence when the violence kicks off. And I think it's really good for a movie like this. I think there'll be a lot to love if you're like a slasher fan, I guess. The house is magnificent, right? The house is so good, and they do a really good job of establishing the house architecture and layout in this opening scenes, like as you're sort of meeting the couple and stuff, so that when the action does hit, you sort of know where everyone is. You can keep track of, okay, if you run through this room, you'll hit the kitchen. You know, like there's all that sort of stuff. Where can people hide? And that's just really good. That's really clever to do in a movie that relies so much on house, like being shot in one place. The cinematography is also really good. This is a magnificent house. I've said it a couple of times now. And it makes you want to go there, right? Maybe not the end, but like it makes you want to go there. There are scenes where they're drinking cocktails by the lake and you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I working? I should be sitting there drinking margaritas. Like, it's really well done. I really like that aspect. And when the mystery does get revealed and you work out who done it and why, I do think the puzzle pieces slot into place quite well, which is really hard to do in a movie with as sort of many moving parts as this one. Now, call me a horn dog or a fucking sleaze or whatever, but this movie's kind of billed as an erotic thriller, right? Like, people have been like, oh, this is a fucking horny movie. And there's really, like, I was expecting a lot of full frontal, to be honest, and there's the sex scenes and eroticism in this movie is actually surprisingly tame. Which wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting this to be like a full-on fucking balls-to-the-wall thriller. And there's only really one scene like that, and it's the opening scene, and it's not even really in the movie. You'll get that if you see it. So I was, and I wasn't expecting nymphomaniac or anything, but I was like, come on, guys. Like, this is supposed to be an erotic thriller. It's supposed to be a bit sexy. It's not really. It's there's a lot of environmental censoring going on, and there's not actually a lot of sex in it, which I found weird, because I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be like, this is billed as like the horny movie of the fucking year or whatever, and it's not really at all. It's pretty tame. Most slashers have more nudity than this one, so I did think that was interesting. I don't know if it's an issue, but it definitely changed my expectations of the movie. There's also a slight dip into silliness when you find out why what is happening is happening. Like, when you work out what's going on and why it's happening, you're like, okay, that's pretty fucked up, and then they try to up the fucked upness of it, and I didn't need that. Like, it was fucked up enough. You don't need to put a hat on a hat. Like, that's how it felt. It felt like they were just trying to, oh, but what about this and then this, and it was like, you don't need any of that, man. Just keep it simple. It's good. We're good with the first bit. So it did dive into silliness there. That being said, if you like funny thrillers, especially to do with like couples, I would call this a romance thriller, I guess. Probably not an erotic thriller. This is a good one. I would watch this if you love movies where two characters from completely different walks of life have to interact a lot. I would probably say Speak No Evil's the best example of this. One kind of button-up couple, one kind of wild couple having to interact a lot, and that's where the tension comes from. That's the vibe. If you love to sit there and diagnose characters in the DSM-5, you will be going like, oh, classic narcissist. Oh, you've got attachment issues. You'll be doing all that sort of shit in this one. If you love playing red flag, beige flag, this is a great one to do that in. I would skip this if, I don't even want to say sex scenes, but like, I guess horniness, sexual references is a trigger for you. Like, you don't see too much actual sex in this movie. There's lots of sex toys, and even though you don't see them used, there's talk of masturbation, all that sort of stuff. So know that going in. If character infidelity is a trigger for you, that is a big theme of this one. There is a big theme of infidelity and the effects of it. So know that going in. If you want a super fun movie with a similar vibe, I have to recommend It's What's Inside. This movie came out last year, and shout out to Rabbit if you're watching for putting it on my list, because it was a banger. It's about a group of friends who catch up after not seeing each other for like, I think it's 8 years or something. One of the friends has become a tech billionaire in that time, and he's invented a machine that allows you to body switch, right? So everyone who wants to put in can put in, and then it'll just randomly assign change bodies, and it's wild. It's a wild concept. So the party decide to make a game of it. they go, okay, well, let's all do this. It'll be really funny to try and guess who each other are and all that sort of shit. And of course, it gets really fucking sinister really quickly. The amazing thing about this movie is that Greg Jardin and the team have the way it's shot and the way it is acted is so good because you still sort of know who is, from contextual clues and the acting, who is in each other's body. Like, even though the characters are trying to guess, you sort of go like, okay, yes, there's been 4 body switches, but that feels like Barry because that actor is acting like Barry would for a little bit of the movie. And then they all switch again, and then they all switch again. And you still are able to keep track of who is in what body. And that's really hard to do. And it amazes me every time I think about this movie. Another one that is a fun whodunit thriller that takes place in a house is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I fucking love this movie. This movie is so like Gen Z coded, but fuck it, I just love it. I really do. It's about a bunch of like preppy kids who go to one of their parents' mansions to have like a hurricane party. The power's going to go out, so they're like, well, let's all just get together with glow sticks, do drugs, drink, play games. And then halfway through the party, one of them turns up dead, and tea, blood, and beans get fucking spilt everywhere. It's got one of the best whodunit reveals of all time in it. And it's got Lee Pace. It's got Lee Pace in it. And if it's good enough for the King of Elves, it's fucking good enough for me. It's so good. I love Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. So that is day 19 in the books. Let me know if you've seen this one. If you did, what you thought of it. Let me know of your favorite like whodunit mysteries. I love whodunit mysteries. Barbarian's another good one for whodunit mysteries. Happy Death Day is another one I love. I do love the Happy Death Day movies. So if you've got some whodunit mystery recommendations, chuck them in the comments, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for another review. Peace.